Hello guys, it's me Kazuma Kuriyami. I haven't really made a freaking video in let's see, in over a freaking month. It's a bit noisy here, so yeah, just bear with me. I'm just doing some extra work, just trying to work on my website and other future ideas for YouTube. So okay, that's enough for the intro. Let's go straight to the point. I wanted to talk about something that is very meaningful to me. We're gonna talk about the iPhone 6 Plus. Okay, the iPhone 6 Plus. Now, many of my friends have been asking me, Kazuma, like, why the frick would you buy an iPhone 6 Plus in 2025? Like, they tell me this thing is outdated, and I keep telling them that the iPhone 6 Plus, this thing, it still holds up in 2025. Like, I'm not even trying to make jokes. And this is what this video is about. Okay, let's start off with the history of the iPhone 6 Plus. Here, this one. The iPhone 6 Plus, when it was made, I think, let's see if I still remember. When was that thing made? It was made like around September, I think. I'm not really too sure about when it was made. But, when this thing was made, I know this is one of the last things that Steve Jobs made. I'm not really sure. You guys can correct me. It's made around September 19? Yeah, September 9, 2014. Now, when this thing came out, this is one of the earliest phones that can handle 1080p. And the iPhone 6 Plus, it's very big. If you compare this to a modern smartphone, the size still holds up. And believe it or not, if you compare the size of this thing to an iPhone 14, it's almost the same size. The iPhone 14 is slightly bigger, but to think that a product from 2014 can actually be the same size as that, it's pretty good. Now, let's talk about this, because a lot of people keep saying that this thing is shit in 2025, and I keep telling them I don't believe that. If you're using this for social media, if you're using this as a smartphone, like for basic smartphone stuff, and if you're planning to use this for like sort of flex, like say at least you own an Apple product, this is for you. This is not my main phone, this is just my second phone. And I love this phone because this is the last iPhone that has the iPhone jack. You see the phone jack? This shit disappears in all the other iPhones. You won't ever see that again. This is the last iPhone that has this. So I still like to use headphones, earphones. I don't like using Bluetooth all the time, but this thing's capable of Bluetooth, so I put that thing here. It still works. And can this thing run, let's see, 4G? Yeah, it still runs in 4G, so you could still use this. Believe it or not, like, you could still use this. Second, what else can this thing do? Aside from the, I'll show you guys. Just give me a sec. I tried a lot of modern apps on this thing, and it still holds up. I'll show the design. It still looks pretty good, look, see? And let's talk about the stuff you could use this for. You could use this for Discord, or people are going to talk about the camera. Because people keep saying that the camera is not that good in 2025 standards. I don't really believe that. I think the camera is still good. The camera is still good. It can only run up to, let's see, either 720p to 1080p, but it doesn't really matter because if you have any apps here that can be really good for editing photos, filters, like snow, you don't need that. Just believe it or not, like, what's the point of having like super HD camera if you could just have a freaking filter to fix that for you? And in these days, it doesn't even matter if you have crappy camera. If your camera's like regular and you have a filter on, it doesn't really freaking matter. So, that case, if you're worried about the pictures and the camera, it doesn't really matter. In terms of the basic cameras, it works. It still has Siri. I still work Siri with this thing when I get bored. Because I got this thing jailbreak. This is a jailbroken version of the iPhone 6 Plus, by the way. And what else can I do with this? This thing runs on iOS 8. It's a pretty old type. And the iOS 8 in 2025, it's still good. I'll show you guys how it works. Just give me a sec. If you guys still have the modern, if you guys still have the an iPhone watch. I believe I still got that. You can still link it to this and it still works. So in 2025, it's still good. Now, I want to talk about the complaints people have with this. Now, for instance, they're going to say that certain apps, certain games don't work with this. And I'm thinking, who the fuck is going to game on an iPhone? No offense, but if you're wanting to do gaming, get an Android. iPhone is more for social media and camera. If you try to watch Apple commercials, they never really advertise the iPhone to be a phone to use for games. That's an Android thing. So I'm not even mocking Android. I support both. So if you want to do gaming, you do that with a freaking Android, not with an iPhone. You can't run emulators. You can if you try, but this thing only has 1 gig RAM. For many people, they hate that because they complain about games like Mobile Legends and stuff. But it doesn't really matter because, like I said, this is a phone meant for social media. It's really big with a hand. Like this is my hand. Look, it's uh, and I want to go talk about the other parts that this thing can do because I'm really creative with how I use this. Uh, One of the biggest reasons I got this is because of, first of all, it's flex. Even if you just hold an iPhone, you see, you can tell people you own an iPhone. This thing is really memorable to me because when I was in high school, this is one of the latest iPhone back then. Back when I was 14 years old, now I'm 25. Now, uh, 2025, you can still use YouTube with it. You can still use Discord. You can still use Instagram. You can still watch TikTok videos with this. You can still watch. What else can you do? Most of the stuff you use for social media, it still works. So let me just try to make this clear. For basic people who want to use, for nostalgia reasons, you can get this. For semi-flex to tell people you have an iPhone, you can also get this. Even that's one of the reasons why I got it in the first place. And if you want a camera or price-wise, this thing is not that expensive. You could literally buy this for like a, wait, just give me a second, I'm gonna search. How much should I get this shit for? Wait, I'll just search it in the iPhone. Oh great, no signal. This is embarrassing. There's a typhoon now in the Philippines, so don't expect the signal to be too good. Um, okay. The version of the iPhone 6 Plus I got is the silver version. I like the color silver, so that's why I got this one. It still has the iPhone jack. It works on Bluetooth. I can also do an iPhone 7 review because I have an iPhone 7. I collect a lot of products. You guys have no idea. When I got nothing better to do in my free time or with the money I'm able to earn from my socials or other stuff, I usually buy collectibles like this. I got another review coming later in my opinions about this, but just to be clear, nostalgia reasons, go get this one. If you're planning to get this in terms of budget, you could even get this one. It's not that expensive anymore in 2025. If you're planning to use this for like pictures or watching YouTube videos, this is also for you. And yeah, as of now, it just sounds like I'm rambling or I'm glazing the iPhone 6 a bit. But I really like the iPhone 6 because it still holds up in my opinion. And plus, most of the stuff that in my opinion, this is like ahead of its time. Because if you compare this to the future iPhones that came after, it's still impressive. It's like every time I see this, I sort of have a talk with my younger brother. It kind of reminds me of the T1000, and you try to compare it to the other Terminators that came after it. The T1000 still stops. The liquid metal Terminator is still able to do lots of stuff, and it's like this one. If you're using it for casual use, like for social media, pictures, and all of that, this thing still works. My favorite app to use in this, if you're using pictures, is Snow, because the results is still good. It still comes up as HD because it makes sense. This thing came out in HD era, so it's pretty obvious it's gonna handle HD. And many people, every time I bring this outside, and they say, "Oh, you got an iPhone?" I say, "What version?" Like the iPhone 6. And say, "Why you got an old one?" It's a good conversation starter. I have a lot of good memories with this. Like when I was back in 2014, that's when freaking PS4 was just coming out. PS3 games were still there, of course. PS4 just recently come out, and yeah, there's still so many cool stuff you could do with this thing. Would I recommend it? Yeah, go for it. But be aware of the limitations and don't hate the limits. If you know the limits, just respect those specific limits. Then abuse the parts that this thing can do. The battery time of this is really good compared to modern smartphones like Android. Androids cannot survive like in max settings. It usually breaks down after 4 hours, 5 hours. This thing can survive for 10 hours because it doesn't really run a lot of apps. It doesn't run a lot of apps unless you're using it for social media. So but battery time, it still works well for phone, video call. I even remember tried using Zoom with this and it still works. So yeah, video call, you could still use Skype with this thing. Anyone still uses Skype, that is. So yeah. Sorry if you guys weren't expecting this to be a highly technical video. I never really intended this to be technical. I was just talking about my opinion about the iPhone 6 because I really love this phone. I really love this phone. See. So if I were you guys, go get an iPhone 6. Still good, still holds up in 2025. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like, share, subscribe. Tell me guys what you think about classic iPhones. This is the last iPhone that has the phone jack. The one that came afterwards, fuck that shit, it doesn't happen anymore. So yeah, anyways, I think you guys get the gist of the video. Have a nice day and thanks for watching. Bye bye.